And he really hams it up. I mean, he's really doing his, you know. So Larry says, his name is Henderson. He's head of the World Health, smallpox. And he's got to get permission from, I think, the Surgeon General, who gives security clearance. Margie says, what's his name? Henderson. Margie says, spell it. H-E-N. And Margie's really playing this soothe, you know, this boy, am I doing it? Gets all finished, he puts the thing, he says, got it, Dally. Larry says, again, my God, there's no chance. But you have to understand that at the moment Maharaji was saying that, there was a cocktail party going on in Zurich, at which Mr. Henderson was there as a guest of the American Embassy. And who was there but the Surgeon General? Surgeon General said to Henderson, how are things going with the smallpox eradication program? And he said, well, the Russians are giving this, the Swiss are giving this. He says, well, what about us? Are we giving things? He says, well, you know, I don't know why I got involved in this, but there's a young doctor that we were going to take on, but can't get security clearance. Henderson, the Surgeon General says, what does he need that for? It's the law, he needs it. Who gives it? You do. I do. Give me a cocktail napkin. What's his name? And he writes down, Larry Brilliant has security clearance and signs it, the Surgeon General. That's at the moment H-E-N, see, so how can you take it all too seriously? I mean, do you really figure you know what the game is? Do you really think you know who's running the show? Maharaji once said to me, you know, Lincoln was a pretty good president. I said, yeah? He says, yeah, because he knew Christ was president. He was only acting president. That's a nice line. Jimmy almost knew that, but he sort of forgot along the way. And he sort of knew it. He sort of knows. That's what's so irritating. He'll learn, though. Everybody learns. Even we learn. That's what we're doing here. What Emmanuel said to me was, I said, Emmanuel, what should I do? He says, look, Ramdas, he said, you're enrolled in a school, why don't you take the curriculum? I mean, what are you trying to be so phony-holy for? But you're being human. You're a human. Try being human. I thought of all that stuff that I sort of, it's too human. You got it, I'm sure, someday. Emmanuel says, if you want to become free, you're going to have to embrace original sin. Wow, you sure you want to listen to this guy, Emmanuel? Doesn't mean you have to do evil, but you have to allow the fact that all is what is. It's really scary. You're not going to get there on righteousness. It's just obvious. The highest teachings I work with are the clearest for me at a certain point. For about 6 years I've been using them. Are a little booklet called The Third Chinese Patriarch of Zen by Sin Sing Ming. Called the Sin Sing Ming, rather. The Heart Mind Sutra. It's only about 4 pages long. But you can spend at least the next year on the first line. I'll give you the first line. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. You ready for the second line, or would you like to work on that one for a while? I'll just give you a foreshadowing of what's to come. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. But make the smallest distinction, and heaven and earth are set infinitely apart. Do you want to become free, or do you just want to feel good? both ways. You and I are going for broke, whether you like it or not. First you think, well, there's a lot of work to do to get liberated. Then you're going to figure out there's a lot of work to do to not get liberated. Because it's going to pull you and push you. Once the hook is in, baby, you've been had. There is no escape. You can try as you can to forget, but you'll keep remembering. You wouldn't be in this room except by some strange error unless you took birth just to bless us. I mean, you're here just why I'm here. You can call it light, you can call it love, you can call it awakening, you can call it God, you can call it liberating spirit. There is no name. You can transcend your separateness in order to know the uniqueness and delight in the uniqueness of your separateness. At first, your faith flickers. You touch who you really are, and you suddenly see that who you thought you were is just who you thought you were. And that you are, just like the song we would sing, I am. You are. You're not good, you're not bad, you just are. You are, and it all is. And then you're forgetting. You go back into your separateness and into your fear. And the fear seems so dark, you think you're never going to find the light again. It's just a memory. It's like an old moldering butterfly in your collection. You might have gotten high the first time any number of ways. Falling in your head. Motorcycling, cooking a bouillabaisse, knitting an Afghan, having sex, who knows, taking drugs. Whatever way you did it. You broke out of the prison of your own mind and you experienced your innocence. You experienced the Tao, the flow, the way of things, the Torah, the law. The body of Christ made manifest. You experienced it, you knew it, you grokked it, you were one with it. And then you forget it back into your separateness and you think you've lost it. And then you're busy being somebody who's lost it. And you're looking for it. See? And you're looking for the Spirit. You're seeking the Spirit. And there are good seekers, and there'll be seekers for 10,000 lives. It's like a myth. Who are you? I'm a seeker. Why aren't you a finder? Because I'm a seeker. So I was working with this woman, or we were working in our dying project, Stephen Levine and I were working with this woman, this one young lawyer who was dying of a brain tumor. She had been doing the Jesus prayer for 2 years. Lord Jesus Christ, have mercy upon me, miserable sinner. And then about 3 days before she died, she stopped doing it, and she just said that she was too much part of it all to do that anymore. That was too separated. She couldn't hold on to that duality anymore. I was just at a place in New Mexico with the wife of an old American Indian chief. And we were all singing Hare Krishna, but she kept singing Hare Jesus. I said, why don't you sing Hare Krishna? She said, because I hold on to the hem of Jesus' cloak. I said, well, why don't you become Jesus instead of holding on to his cloak? Why don't you transcend the dualism of the I-thou even in order to enjoy the dance of it? Acknowledge who you are. You wake up a second time and a third time, and then 10,000 times you awake and you fall asleep and you awake and you fall asleep, until pretty soon your faith gets stronger. You know, if even though you fall asleep, you're going to awake again. Even when all of it's hitting the fan. Even when it's yuck. Can you imagine having a marriage where at the worst, yickiest time, you can look at your partner and say, are you here? I'm here. I hate your guts. Isn't this horrible? Yuck. God, I wish we weren't here. Are you here? Yeah, I'm here. Pretty heavy, isn't it? Yeah. Well, somebody's got to play Lady Macbeth. Okay. You may not even be able to laugh about it, but you can recognize. You can share the point of awareness that allows the two to live out their humanity because of that shared awareness. So for a long time, for maybe thousands of incarnations, you awake every now and then. For long, thousands of incarnations, each time you awake, you make believe you didn't. That's how far out it gets. It's like once I went to visit my mother when she was dying, and she was under morphine in the hospital, and I was under mescaline. And we met in a space in which there was no mother and son, is all I can say. And we considered death and life and stuff. And the next day she said to me, we talked disgracefully. They had me under drugs. I mean, that was the highest we'd ever been together. But her role was so real that time around. It was interesting. Later my guru said to me, you know, your mother is a very high being. And I said, didn't he mean she was a very high being? He said, no, she is a very high being. And suddenly there was a whole flip, and I saw her soul and my soul, and I saw us playing out middle-class mother-child dance, almost without an error, except under mescaline, morphine. I've left so many threads dangling now. It's a beautiful line by Ram Tirth, Swami Ram Tirth. This is just, he walked into a river when he was about, I don't know, in his young youth, I think 20s or 30s, early 30s, I guess. He wrote this one poem that I remember. He's written a number of things. Just feel what it feels like. I am without form. Try it on inside yourself. Feel what it feels like. I am without form, without limit. I am beyond space, beyond time. I am in everything. Everything is in me. I am the bliss of the universe. Everywhere I am. I am Sat Chit Ananda. Absolute existence, absolute knowledge, absolute bliss. Tat Tvam Asi, I am that. What does it feel like to expand beyond space, beyond time? To be in everything, to have everything in you. Certainly such a being isn't who you thought you were. Because as such a being is unthinkable. It includes thought itself. I am without form, without limit. As such, your awareness, which is all there is the creative spark itself. You are creativity. You are love. When I say we are in love, it's not necessarily a verb, I love you. It's I and you are in love. We are in love. We are sharing the space of love, which means that we are in union, in yoga. There is only one of us. And in order for there to be one of us, we have to step outside of our separateness. But we can't push our separateness away. We have to embrace it because it's part of the one. So experience simultaneously, stretch a little bit and experience simultaneously being without form, without limit, and at the same moment being uniquely you as a separate entity. See your separateness from your totality, which includes your separateness, but yet experience your separateness fully.